Welcome back. In the previous class, we discussed about different types of operations to be performed on lathe machine. In this present class, our discussion continue regarding remaining operations. So the remaining operation means already we discussed just briefly regarding taper turning and thread cutting operation. Now in today's class, the total methods of taper turning and what is the procedure or how to calculate the particular gear ratio for the particular thread cutting operations are to be discussed. So already we know. So taper turning differs with the remaining turning operations. In this one, the tool post moves with certain degree of inclination with this particular job. So a conical surface produced on the lathe is called taper turning. That means the diameter changes uniformly along the axis of the job, so that the cylindrical surface is converted into conical shape. So that particular cutting tool moves with some degree of inclination with that particular job, so that is the cylindrical job is converted into conical shape. So what are the different methods that are used to convert the cylindrical surface or cylindrical component into conical shaped component? So the tool moves at an angle to the axis of rotation. So methods of taper turning, it is very, very important. In the previous class, we discussed about how to taper turning is appears, how taper turning is produced, but we are not discussed at the time regarding methods of taper turning. The reason is exclude the methods of taper turning is elaboratedly requires 1 hour explanation. So that's why at the time just I explain what is the operation or how the taper turning operation is appears or produced on the lathe machine. Now different methods of taper turning. The first one is the forming tool method. Forming tool method. So in this particular one, simply we can say forming tool method is similar to knurling operation. So the shape of the cutting tool is reproduced on that particular job. This particular forming tool method is used only for smaller length of the taper portions only. So the second one is important one method is the compound rest method. So for this particular compound rest method, by using an extra attachment, the compound rest is moved with inclined position. That's why this method is named or called as the compound rest method. Third one is the taper attachment method. So fourth one is the tailstock setover method. Sorry, in the compound rest method, the particular only compound rest is moving with a certain degree of inclination. That's why this method is called as a compound rest method. In the third one is the taper attachment method. By using an extra attachment, actually at the beginning, I said extra attachment is required for compound rest, not for the compound rest. For taper attachment method, by using an extra attachment, that particular degree of that particular angle of degree is provided to the cutting tool. The fourth one is the tailstock setover method. The tailstock setover method is different as compared to the remaining three methods. In tailstock setover method, instead of cutting tool, the job is adjusted between rotating center and dead center with a certain degree of angle. That means that particular job is make some offset position with the particular running center, so that the job is converted with the inclined position to the axis of the machine, and the cutting tool moves parallel to the axis of the machine, so that the required taper or the required conical shape is produced on that particular component. So in this particular method, as the tailstock is set over to a certain distance. That's why this method is called as the tailstock set over method. Now come one by one. So this particular forming tool method is very simple and very easy. So but the drawback is this particular method is used only for small taper portions only. The tool has a cutting edge inclined at the desired angle with the axis of rotation. So what is the angle of required, or what is the angle to be produced on the cylindrical surface, or what is the angle of taper? The same angle of inclination is provided to the cutting tool. So now whenever that particular cutting tool in contact with the job, the same inclination or the same angle of taper is produced on that particular component, on that particular cylindrical job. It is similar to knurling operation. The only thing is the speed in the knurling operation is somewhat high. So what it means the profile of the cutting tool, the same profile is produced on that particular job. So the angle is equal to half of the taper angle, because the total angle is distributed on both the sides of the components. That's why the angle of the cutting tool is equal to half of the taper angle. The tool is fed straight into the work. In this particular forming tool method, the cutting tool or tool post moves along the straight line, that means parallel to the axis of the job only. So generally, as per our discussion, the cutting tool or tool post moves in a direction inclined to job or axis. But in this particular condition, the cutting tool moves parallel to both job and the axis of the machine. That is the reason why the tool is fed straight into the work, because it is the forming method. Only short tapers can easily be turned at the beginning itself. So why it is simple and easy means this particular one is having only by adjusting the tool angle or angle position of that particular cutting tool is a required angle. That is the only adjustment required. Other than that, there is no need to change either tool post position, or there is no use to distribute or to disturb any extra attachment. So this is the taper turning principle. Already in the previous class we discussed it. So now it is form tool method. So this particular taper turning operation is performed. Next procedure, next process is so taper turning by compound rest method. So in this one, how that particular operator operates this particular compound rest. So this is the next method, taper turning by compound rest method. In this one, the particular cutting tool you placed in that particular tool post. So in the previous one, the cutting tool is placed in that particular cutting tool in that particular tool post, whose angle is certain inclination. But whereas in this particular compound rest method, there is no need to prepare or to ground the cutting tool to a degree of angle. So the cutting tool is placed as per the geometry of that particular cutting tool. So this particular method is useful for turning of longer lengths or long tapers. The previous one, forming tool, is used only for shorter distances, whereas this particular compound rest method, it should used for longer tapers. The length of the taper is limited to compound rest slide moment. So that is the limitation. That means length of taper produced is more than the forming tool method, but it is restricted up to certain limit only. What is that particular limit? The length of the taper produced is equal to or up to the length of the compound rest movement over a fixed position of the carriage. That means once that particular carriage is fixed with the help of that particular screw mechanism, later after fixing that particular cross-slide motion is arrested. Next, that particular compound rest. So over the on that in the front of the compound rest, in the front of the cross slide, that particular degree of rotations are marked. The degree of rotations marking or representation is used in order to turn or to rotate the compound rest to required angle. So by turning of that particular compound rest to the required angle, now that particular rotation or movement is given only to the compound rest. That is the reason why this particular method is called as the compound rest method. So the compound rest should travel over the cross-slide guideways up to a certain length only. So that is the maximum length to be turned by this particular process. So compound rest graduated with the degrees can be swivel to desired angle. So the taper angle is calculated first and then compound rest. So in this method, in the forming tool method, there is no need to calculate. Simply by using the particular required angle over the surface, so in this particular compound rest method, the particular degree of angle or taper angle is calculated by using the geometry of that particular component. In this one, the larger diameter and smaller diameter, in addition to these two diameters, the length of the taper is used to calculate the taper angle. By using this particular formula, the taper angle is calculated first and then compound rest is swivel to half of that particular angle. Why that particular compound rest is swiveled or rotated to half of the angle means here because of that particular degree of rotation, the both sides of that particular of the job is in contact with the cutting tool. So that is the reason in this particular also the angle of the particular swivel or angle of rotation of the compound rest is half of the calculated taper angle. So in this particular one, due to the hand feed, productivity is low and poor surface finish. This particular compound rest should not move with the automatic power system. The movement of compound rest is possible only with human involvement. That is hand feed. Because of the hand feed, the productivity is low, and not only productivity, even the feed is also not uniform. Whenever feed is not uniform, surface finish obtained is irregular. So this is the method. So in this particular one, the position of the cross slide and the position of the carriage both are fixed to a particular position or a particular location. After fixing this particular carriage and cross slide, now that particular compound rest is moved along its guideways. Observe, the compound rest is mounted over the cross slide. So this particular movement of the compound rest over the cross slide is possible up to a certain length. So that particular length of sliding is possible to produce the taper turning on the job. So in this way, compound rest is adjusted to a particular angle or required angle along with the axis of the job. So this is the line diagram of this particular compound rest taper turning method. So the next method is, in this particular method, the first step is calculation of the taper angle. So this is the small diameter So this is the small diameter of the conical section, and this is the larger diameter of the conical section. The small diameter is represented with the small d, and larger diameter is represented with the capital D. And length of the job, or length of the taper portion, or length of the conical portion is represented with the L. So this particular one is the 2 alpha is the total angle of this particular component, or angle 2 alpha is taper angle. But here we required to adjust that particular cutting tool, or that means the rotation of the compound rest to a angle equal to alpha only. So here in this particular calculation of taper angle, some procedures are directly calculating exactly half of the angle. Some procedures first calculate full taper angle, later they are calculating that particular required half of the angle. So D is the larger diameter, capital D is larger diameter, small d smaller diameter, and whereas a capital L is length of the taper. So all the diameters should be with uniform units only. Either both are in a millimeters, or all the values are supposed to be in meters. Should be in the same value. So now this particular one, very simple formula how to calculate this taper angle calculation. So by using the trigonometric functions, let us consider the difference between the larger diameter. Half of the difference between the larger diameter and smaller diameter is the BC. So what is BC? The BC is half of the difference of larger diameter to smaller diameter. So next, what is this particular AB? This particular AB is length of the taper portion. So now if this particular angle is alpha, because total taper angle is 2 alpha, that's why the angle of taper at half portion or at one side is alpha. So now this particular alpha is calculated by using the relation between opposite side BC and adjacent side AB. So tan formula opposite side by adjacent side, that means BC by AB. Just now we discussed BC is the difference of half of the difference of larger diameter to smaller diameters. So that particular diameter difference is capital D minus small d, whereas half of the difference means capital D minus small d by 2. And that particular AB means L. So that's why tan alpha equal to capital D minus small d divided by 2L. So here this particular D minus D by L is a ratio that is named or called as the quantity. So this particular tan alpha is used next in order to calculate this particular alpha by using inverse function of tan. That means alpha equal to tan inverse of this constant. Alpha equal to tan inverse of this particular constant is calculated. So here we are having one simple problem. So how to calculate that particular compound rest angle for turning short taper? So next example, determine the angle at which the compound rest will be swiveled when cutting a taper of the following dimensions. So clearly the data is given in this problem. So the angle to rotate, the angle of the degree of rotation over the cross slide for this particular compound rest is supposed to be calculated for this particular following dimension. Larger diameter is 80 mm, smaller diameter is 40 mm, and length of taper is 80 mm. The simple procedure step is tan alpha equal to half of the difference of larger to smaller diameter. That means 80 minus 40, that is 40 millimeter. So 40 millimeter and half of that particular 40 millimeter, that means 20 millimeter. So tan alpha equal to 20 divided by, and length of the taper is 80 millimeter. So tan alpha equal to 20 by 80, some constant value is calculated. Now by using the inverse trigonometry function, that angle is calculated. So compound rest will be given by the equation. So tan alpha equal to capital D minus small d by 2L, so that equal to 0.25. So by using that particular trigonometric inverse function, alpha equal to 14 degree 2 minutes. So in generally, on that particular compound rest, it is not possible to adjust the compound rest to exact degrees, exact minutes or seconds. So in that particular condition, the compound rest is adjusted to nearest value of the degree. So now by adjusting but that means by rotating the compound rest over the cross slide to an angle of 14 degree, this particular geometry or this particular taper turning is produced. Next, one more problem. Calculate the car to turn a short taper of 1 millimeter per 12 mm. 1 millimeter per 12 mm. This is the ratio. This is the 1 millimeter per 12 mm. That means whenever that particular length of the taper moves to along a 12 mm length, the diameter changes 1 millimeter. That means if length consider 12 millimeter, the change in diameter is 1 millimeter. Half of the change in diameter means 0.5. That means the simple procedure for this type of problem, tan alpha equal to 0.5. Why is 0.5? This 1 mm is the change in diameter. So half of the change in diameter means 0.5. What is the length for 12 mm? So tan alpha equal to 0.5 divided by 12. Very simple procedure this one is. So this particular 1 by 2 means 0.5 divided by length 12 mm. So tan alpha value is obtained. So now by using the inverse tan function, the degree of angle is calculated 2.386 degrees. So this type of method is also asked in examination. In the first one, observe. So this is the first one, 1:16 ratio. That means for a length of 16 mm, that particular change in diameter is 1 millimeter. So half of that particular means 1 by 2. 1 by 2 means 0.5 divided by total length is 15 millimeter. So the third method is also similar to the first method. So directly we consider what is that particular length, the angle decreases for a particular length. So and the third method is taper turning by taper attachment. Taper turning by taper attachment. In this particular method, extra attachment is required. That's why this particular method is called as the taper turning by taper attachment. In this method, work is aligned to lathe axis. So cutting tool is fed at an angle to the axis of work by means of attachment. So this particular attachment consists of a bracket with graduated degrees on the guide bar. This particular attachment can be swiveled, that means rotated on either side of 0 graduation. So for producing taper turning for using this taper turning attachment, the cross slide is disconnected with the cross feed screw and rear end of cross slide is attached to guide bar. In the diagram clearly you can visualize how this particular taper turning attachment is fixed or adjusted over a lathe machine. The simple in all the cases, the cross slide is engaged or is in contact with the cross feed screw. But for this particular process, the cross slide is disconnected with this one. That means the cutting tool should not move with the motion or movement of that particular cross slide. So this particular taper turning by taper attachment is only for external tappers only. So generally internal tappers are provided only by using the tap sets. So it is not possible by using a single point cutting tool to produce internal tappers over a lathe machine. So length of tapper is limited to length of the slide bar. Remember, each method is having certain restriction. So only the last one, tailstock setover method, used to turn the full length of the job. In the first one, form tool is moved to a certain length only. In the second method or second process, compound rest method, the length of the taper to be produced is equal to up to length of the movement of compound rest over the cross line. That is the second restriction or limitation. Whereas in this particular third one, in this particular one also, the length of the taper to be produced is limited to length of the slide bar. That means length of the cutting tool move along the length of the sliding bar only. Once that particular cutting tool reaches to extreme point of slide bar, then there is no provision for further movement of that particular cutting tool. So that is the limitation or restriction for each and every process. In the first one, it is limited to width of that particular cutting tool, and in the second one, that means in this particular compound rest method, the length of the taper is restricted with this particular length of the traveled by the compound rest over the cross slide. In this third method, in this one, the length of the taper produced is restricted up to the length of the slide bar only. So that means that means based on the attachment fixed to the particular lathe machine only, this particular length of the taper is dependent. So now this is the attachment. Clearly we are visualizing. So this particular one is the taper attachment. So in all the previous cases, this particular cross slide is engaged with the power screw. But in this particular one, this cross slide is disengaged with the power screw, and this particular one is operated with the taper turning attachment. Now we observe this particular adjustable guide bar is having some degree of rotation. This particular degree of rotation depends upon the angle of the taper only. So this is the special attachment provided to that particular lathe machine in order to produce the required angles or the required taper angle. So this is the lathe bed. Over the lathe bed, the component or the job is fixed in between the two centers. That means this is the running center or live center. This is the dead center or tailstock center. As the job is longer one, the job is fixed in between the two centers. If the length of the job is smaller one, then there is no need to fix the job with the tailstock center or dead center. Only the job is fixed with the running center or live center. So this particular taper attachment is exactly in the position opposite to the tool post position. So whenever the operator is standing in front of the lathe machine, that particular cutting tool rotation or the particular movement of either cross slide or compound rest or carriage, that means that wheels are just near to the operator. Whereas this particular taper turning attachment, it is complete opposite direction or in the opposite side of the operator. Why this particular taper turning attachment need not require to in front of the operator means the taper turning attachment adjusts at the beginning of the operation only. Once that particular taper turning attachment adjusts to the required degree or required angle, then in the latter stage there is no need to move that particular taper turning attachment. That's why the taper turning attachment is provided on the opposite side to that particular operator. So observe, this is this particular mechanism provided to produce taper turning operations by using this particular taper attachment. So this particular one is the taper attachment. Clearly we are visualizing, clearly we can visualizing this particular taper attachment. So this particular one tool post is nearer to the operator, whereas this particular attachment of this particular taper attachment is in the opposite direction. Here this particular length of the job is somewhat more. That's why the job is fixed within the 3-jaw check and its other end is supported with the help of the dead center of the tailstock. So now this particular side, how this particular attachment is used in order to adjust this particular the position of this particular side or this particular angle is fixed one, and this particular side or this particular edge of this particular attachment is having degree of swiveling. So this is the 0 degree. In order to change the particular one, this particular may swivel to on the both the sides or on either sides. So whenever this particular one slides, So the rod may make some inclination with the axis of this particular job. Whenever the job makes some angle of inclination, this particular taper attachment is also moves or makes with the same angle. Here the compound rest or the tool post is fixed or attached with this particular taper attachment. That's why the taper attachment is also produces the same angle on that particular cylindrical job. So this method is used for small tappers on long jobs. In this particular one, the length of that particular tapper portion is long, whereas the angle of tapper is up to smaller angles only. So this particular tailstock setover method is used to turn the full length of that particular job. So this is the fourth method. This is the fourth method. In this particular fourth method, the tailstock center is used to support. In the first three methods, that means in the form tool method, or in the second one compound rest method, or in the third one taper attachment method, if that particular length of the job is long, then only the tailstock center or dead center is in contact with the open end of the job. Otherwise, if the length of the job is smaller one, there is no need to keep that particular tailstock in contact with the job. But in this particular method, in the tailstock setover method, it is compulsory to fix that particular both the ends are in contact with the running center, that means headstock center and tailstock center. So in this particular one, the center position is making some offset. So here it is not possible to offset to larger distances. As it is not possible to offset to larger distances, that's why the angle produced on the topper job is restricted to certain value only. But whereas in this one, cutting tool moves from the headstock center end to tailstock center end. That's why this particular operation is used to produce tappers on the full length or on the longer lengths on that particular job. So amount of offset depends upon length of work and tapper dimensions. So in the previous two methods, that means either in the tapper attachment method or in the compound rest method, the angle of tapper is calculated by using formula. So in the similar process, in this particular tailstock method also calculation is required, but here the calculation is not in the degrees. Here the calculation is offset required. So in the previous one, directly angle is calculated in the previous two methods, but in this particular method, angle of the tapper is need not to be calculated. The thing is to be calculated is what is the distance offset required. So the distance offset required to calculate is calculated depends upon that particular length of the job and what are that particular tapper dimensions. That means what is the smallest diameter, what is the smaller diameter, and what is the larger diameter. So in this particular one, the job is fixed or the job is adjusted at an angle to the axis of the machine. That means there is no need to move the cutting tool in a direction inclined to the axis of the machine. Always that particular cutting tool, that means the tool post moves parallel to the machine axis, center axis of the machine. However, already the job is having some offset position, the job is converted into some inclined position or some inclined axis with this particular machine axis. Simply we can say in the previous three operations, the center of the job is exactly coincide with the center of the machine. But in this one, the center of the job is makes some inclined angle with this particular center of the machine. That is the difference for this particular operation. So that means tool is feed parallel to lathe axis. Lathe axis is nothing but also called as the axis of the machine. So in this particular one, offset is supposed to be calculated by using tapper length and total length of the job. For first three methods, there is no need to consider overall length or full length of the job. Only length of the tapper is considered to calculate the angle of the tapper. But in this one, in order to calculate offset, total length and tapper length, in addition to that one, larger diameter and smaller diameter, both are also considered. So that particular formula, so now observe So this particular one is center axis. This particular one is the axis of the machine. Observe carefully. So this is the face plate. This is the face plate. So that's why this particular one is called as the axis of the machine. And this particular one is the axis of the job. So in order to convert this particular axis of the job to required angle, the tailstock is moved to a certain length. The tailstock is moved to a certain length. That is called as the offsetting of tailstock. So whereas the cutting tool is moved parallel to the machine axis only. So this is the S is offset of the tailstock. S is the offset of the tailstock. So in order to calculate the offset value or S value, the total length capital L and the taper length small l both are supposed to be considered to calculate this one. So now how to calculate this particular one? Simple formula. Observe, S is this particular value. S is this particular value. And small d by 2 is at this particular location. And capital D by 2 is at this particular location. Please observe carefully. So this is the particular small d by 2 and this one is the capital D by 2. So now in order to calculate that particular one, sin alpha equal to, so let us consider the full length L and alpha, sin alpha equal to BC, that is offset required, divided by AB, that means total length. But here what happened, as the angle of values are smaller one, sin alpha value is same as of that particular tan alpha or nearer to the tan alpha. So this particular holds good. So small alpha, sin alpha equal to tan alpha holds good only for smaller angles only. So that is just now I explained to you. BC is the amount of set over or the distance of set over distance. So in this particular one, the required calculation is set over length or set over distance. So AB is overall length of the workpiece. So therefore, S equal to BC equal to AB into tan alpha. So where D is the larger diameter, small d is the smaller diameter, length of taper, length of workpiece. If the taper is turned through entire length, then small l equal to capital L. So this is the only method which is used to turn or to produce taper on the full length of the job. That particular amount of set over is given by the equation. So one simple problem is given here. So the tailstock set over to turn a taper of 10 mm per 250 mm. If the work is 250 mm long, so that is supposed to be calculated. So taper is capital D minus small d, that is already given 10 mm for a length of 250 mm. And total length, that means capital L, small l, both values are same, 250 mm. So tailstock set over is equal to capital D minus small d by 2, that is 5 mm. That means the tailstock is supposed to adjust to a length 5 mm from the axis of the machine. So very simple calculations. So for the calculation of this particular, the length of work is 300 millimeter. The length of the work is 300. The amount of taper, is 1:25. That means the half of the change in diameter is 1 by 2 or 0.2 to a length of 25. So that's why the first tan alpha is calculated. So the tan alpha value equal to 1 by 50. So tan alpha is same as of that particular sin alpha. So sin alpha equal to 1 by 50. So now set over length is equal to L into tan alpha. So what is L? Total length of the job, that is 300 mm. So that is the offset distance required for work tailstock center is 6 millimeter. So all these are the simple problems. In generally, without using calculator also, these problems are supposed to be solved. So in generally, in the competitive exams, these multiple choice questions, these type of problems are given. So third example, a shaft 800 mm long is to be turned. That means capital L is 800 mm to be turned for a small length. For a length of taper is 300 mm. That means small length, and the amount of taper is 1 is to 90. 1 is to 90 means for a length of 90 mm, the change in diameter is 1 millimeter. That means in this particular case, there is no need to know, or there is no need to consider the small length of the taper, because already direct the amount of taper is given 1 is to 90 ratio. That means for a length of 90 mm, the change in diameter is 1 millimeter. So in order to calculate tan alpha value, tan alpha equal to half of the change in diameter. Half of the change in diameter means 1 by 2 divided by length required to change of millimeter, that is 90. So tan alpha equal to 1 by 2 by 90. That means 1 divided by 2 into 90. We are getting tan alpha. So by using the tan alpha equal to sin alpha. So now in order to find that particular distance, offset distance is equal to total length 800 into that particular sin alpha value or tan alpha value. So that is capital D minus small d. The capital D minus T by 2L, this is nothing but tan alpha. What is tan alpha? Capital D minus small d divided by 2L. So this is the tan alpha value. Here instead of using that particular angles directly, the values is represented with the lengths only. So in this particular case, the distance of set over required for taper turning attachment is 4.45 millimeters. So in this way, so far we discussed important taper turning attachments. Each and every taper turning attachment having its own merit, at the same time it is having its own restriction. The one restriction is length of the taper is the restriction. Whereas the particular advantages is, the very first one is the form tool method is very simple. There is no need to adjust any machines, any attachment, or there is no need to adjust or engage any component. Simply by grounding the cutting tool to the required inclined position, the operation is supposed to be performed. And in the second one, only by rotating or by swiveling the compound rest, the required taper angle is produced to a larger length as compared to the form tool method. But the length of the taper is restricted, because the length of the taper is up to or less than length of the sliding of the compound rest over the cross slide. In some cases, what happen? The length of the slide ways over the compound over the cross slide is more. In that particular machine, the length of the taper to produce is high. In some machines, the length of that particular cross slide over the length of the slide ways over the cross slide is less. In that particular condition, the length of the taper to be produced is restricted to that particular value only. So that is the second method. In third method, that particular length of that particular taper is increases as compared to the second method. But up to what length the job is supposed to be done? The length of the taper produced is equal to length of the sliding length of that particular taper attachment only. If that particular length of that particular taper is more, then by using a attachment of more length slide, or the length of the slide is more, by using the attachment, length of the taper is increases. And in the fourth method, so here length is the limitation of the length is eliminated, but here a new problem enters into picture. So that is angle produced or taper angle is restricted up to a smaller angle. Why? Because as the angle is increases, the tailstock setup should be high. So it is not possible the offset of the tailstock to a larger values. That is the reason why that particular taper angle is a small value by using that particular tailstock set over method. So after completion of this particular four important methods, next we enter into the important one, that is the thread cutting operation. So these are various components. These are the various components produced on a turning machine by using thread cutting operation. So in the previous class, just introduction is given to you regarding the thread cutting. But in this particular one, How to calculate the particular speed ratios or gear ratios that are supposed to be explained to you. So thread cutting is the process of producing a helical groove on a cylindrical component. That particular process is termed or called as the thread cutting operation. So in this particular one, what happens? In the previous one, that means either in the taper turning operation or in the facing operation or in the drilling operation, that particular motion to that particular cutting tool may be given either by using a hand movement or by using automatic system. How automatic system is given? By using the feed screw or power screw. But in this particular thread cutting operation, it is not possible to provide the feeding to that particular cutting tool by manual system or by hand system. It is compulsory or essential to produce or to provide the motion to that particular cutting tool by power screw only. How that particular power screw receives motion? By using the lead screw and off nut mechanism. So in this particular, the saddle receives motion from lead screw. So in this particular thread cutting operation, only cross slide, only saddle or total carriage moves in the direction of that particular job. That means compound rest position or cross slide position fixed at a particular position. After fixing that particular compound rest and cross slide position, then only the carriage or saddle moves parallel to axis of the machine or parallel to axis of the job. So in this particular one, the lead screw rotates in such a way that for one revolution of the spindle, the lead screw rotates in such a way that for one revolution of the spindle, the tool should travel a distance equal to pitch of thread to be cut. That means the motion, the movement of the saddle or the movement of the carriage is in such a way that for one rotation of that particular lathe spindle or for one rotation of the job, this particular lead screw allow the movement of the carriage equal to a length of allow to a length equal to pitch of the thread. In that way only the required pitch is produced. So this is achieved. Here the thing is how to control the speed of the lead screw. That is the only thing to be calculated or required to be calculated. That means based on the diameter, based on the speed of the job and based on the pitch or based on the pitch of the thread only, that particular lead screw should rotate at a particular speed. So that is called as the calculation of the lead screw speed. That is also depends upon the gear train or gear ratio. So your gear ratio is nothing but pitch to be cut. Your gear ratio is nothing but pitch to be cut divided by pitch of a lead screw. Remember, pitch of lead screw always it is a constant value. Only thing possible to be changed is pitch of the thread for each and every component. The thread of the job changes, whereas pitch of the lead screw is constant. That means the ratio, in order to change the ratio, generally driven gear teeth are constant. Only driving gear teeth should be changes. Suppose if it is a single, for multi-start threads, the gear ratio is number of starts into pitch to be cut divided by pitch of lead screw. What is multi-start thread? Means for one rotation of job, if two threads are produced, then it is double thread. Suppose if that particular job rotates one rotation, then three threads are provided or three threads are performed or produced on that particular component on the job, then it is called as the triple pitch. Then it is called as a three-start thread. Okay. So that is the difference between the single start thread and multi-start threads. So this is the particular mechanism how to produce the thread cuttings by using a lead screw. So this is the particular lead screw. So this particular one is the off nut mechanism. So this is the off nut mechanism. Observe. Now this particular off nut is in contact with the lead screw. Whenever this particular lever is operated, the lever appears on the external surface. So by using that particular lever, the off nut is make contact with the lead screw. Whenever the off nut is in contact with the lead screw, due to the rotation of the lead screw, this particular carriage also travels in the direction towards the job. So whenever that particular cutting tool moves toward the length of the thread, then immediately this particular off nut should disengage. After disengaging this particular off nut by using either manual method or by using power screw method, this particular carriage should bring to its required or initial position. So observe, this is the workpiece. So generally thread cutting operation is produced on the longer jobs. That's why it is fixed in between the tailstock center and dead center. Suppose if the length of the job is smaller one, even for thread cutting operation also, there is no need to support this job other end or free end in between the tailstock center. Remember, whenever L by D ratio is more than 4, in that condition only, the support of the tailstock center or dead center is required. If the particular length of the job is smaller one, there is no need to support the free end or open end of the job with the help of the tailstock center or dead center. So this particular one is called as the gear ratio. So this is the job which is fixed in this particular one. That means either in the 3-jaw check or 4-jaw check. Second one, this is the lead screw. This is lead screw. And this is the pitch of that particular lead screw. So this is the pitch of the thread. Remember, this is the pitch of the thread which is required. And this is the pitch of the lead screw. So this particular pitch of the thread varies from job to job. Whereas pitch of lead screw, it is constant once that particular machine manufactured as per the design. So in order to change this particular pitch of the component or pitch of the job, this particular gear ratios are supposed to be changed. Whenever the gear ratio changes, the speed of the job is also changed. So in this particular one, that particular speed of the lead screw is calculated, translated by using a single gear system. This means it is the compound gear system. So threads are two different types. One is the right hand thread and second one is the left hand thread. What is the right hand thread and what is the left hand thread? So very simple difference for the right hand thread and left hand thread. If that particular nut or the screw moves so observe. So this is the nut which is supposed to be placed over the threaded portion. So if this particular nut moves away from that particular operation during the clockwise direction, then it is called as the right hand thread. And left hand thread, in the left hand thread, the clockwise direction causes for moving of that particular nut away from that particular length of that particular one. So that means that particular movement of that particular component is in the opposite direction. So these are the right hand. Clearly we can visualize this particular one towards the extreme right side. The angle of inclination is towards the right side. That's why it is called as the right hand thread. If this particular one, these are towards the left hand side. That's why this particular one called as the left hand thread. So types of threads, external threads and internal threads. In lathe machine, it is not possible to provide internal threads. Only threads produced are external threads only by using lead screw and off nut mechanism. Suppose on a lathe machine, if you want to produce internal threads, then by using tab sets and by keeping or by fixing the particular tab sets in the tailstock center, the required operation, that means producing of internal threads, is possible. So gear train for cutting metric threads on a lathe with the English lead screw. These are different systems. That means pitch on that particular lead screw is 1 unit, whereas pitch on that particular component on the job is another one. In that particular condition, we are supposed to use additional gear with 127 teeth on in the gear train. So this means this 25.4 is converted from millimeters to from inches to millimeters. 1 inch equal to 25.4 millimeters. So that is the reason used multiplication factor 25.4. So for multi-started, same formula for gear ratio, even in the different types of units also, simply by multiplying with a value or with a unit n, whereas n is number of starts. So in this one also, the problems are like this one. Find the change gears to cut 16 TPI. What is the meaning of 16 TPI? What is meaning of 16 TPI? That means 16 teeth per inch. What is 16 TPI means? TPI means 16 teeth per inch. Thread on a lathe with 6 TPI lead screw. In this particular problem, there is no need to use that particular conversion factor 127 because both the units are given an inches method. Inches method means CGS system. So that particular job is having 16 threads per 1 inch. So that means what is the pitch? How to calculate pitch? Simply 1 by 16 is the pitch of that particular component. Whereas that particular lead screw is having 6 teeth per inch. So in that particular condition, pitch to pivot is 1 by 16 and pitch of the lead screw is 1 by 6. So the gear ratio is very simple. That means driver teeth by driven gauge is PC by PL, 1 by 16 by 1 by 6. Suppose if the problem occurs whenever one is in teeth per inch and another one is a teeth per centimeter. One unit is in number of teeth per inch and another one is another screw consists of teeth number of teeth per centimeter. In that particular condition only, that particular conversion factor is required. What is that particular conversion factor? 5 by 127. So that particular gear ratio is, because the 66 and 16, this number of sizes are not available. So whenever these particular sizes are not available, so by using a multiplication factor either by 5 or 6, in that way the required gear ratio or the required gear wheels are to be calculated. So now the particular driver gear consists of 30 teeth and this particular driver gear consists 80 teeth. Now by using a gears of 30 teeth and 80 teeth, this particular thread cutting is possible. So this particular keyway cutting, this is the special operation. So far we discussed the number of operations that are the standard operations. Except for the particular taper turning attachment, for any other operation, external attachments are not at all used. Only for the particular taper turning attachment, that too in the third method, only that particular external adjustable slide is required. And for this particular keyway cutting operation, it is the special operation or rare operation. First are the standard operations or common operations, whereas this one is the special operation or rare operation. So in this particular keyway cutting, that in order to provide cutting ways or grooves on the lathe work, the job is rotating. So that's why it is not possible to produce a rectangular groove or a square groove along the length or over the length of the job to a particular length. So this particular one is by using a special attachment on cross slide. This how it is possible? By using a special attachment on cross slide, this keyway cutting is possible. In this particular, the cutter is held in a check and made to rotate. So the work is fed against to rotating cutter to form a keyway or groove. That is the difference. So far with this particular class, we complete all the lathe operations. I think 3 classes are taken to discuss about this particular different lathe operations. I think some may think it may be prolongated or elongated class, but my concept is these operations are very important. The total description or the total concept of the lathe machine is to perform some required operations or to perform some jobs in order to make components as per our requirement. Without having knowledge or without having sufficient idea regarding the operations, even though if anyone knows the total geometry or the total construction or what are the different parts, how they are work, there is no use at all. So that is the reason why this particular operations of the job, how the lathe operations are explained in a detailed manner or in slow process. So in the next class, the next topic is work welding devices. Observe carefully. The discussion goes on this particular chapter in a sequential way. First, the discussion is on the principle of lathe. After principle of lathe, what are the different types of lathes? After different types of lathes, then what is the next one? What is the construction of a lathe machine? That means what are the main parts of a lathe machine? After lathe machine parts, then what is the next step? What are the operations to be performed on the job on that particular lathe machine? So now after that one, the next topic is how to hold the job. That is the next topic that we are supposed to discuss. Without having proper fixing on the job within the lathe machine, it is not possible to perform the required operation. So that's why in the next topic to be discussed is work welding devices. So after completion of the work welding devices, next topic is the tool welding devices. Tool welding for a engine lathe or for a speed lathe, the tool welding is a very simple issue because in this one we are using a single cutting tool, only one cutting tool. Whereas in automatic lathe or capstan lathe, multi-cutting tools or more number of tools are fixed. So that's why tool welding devices required only for some lathe machines only. That should be discussed in the upcoming classes. It is one. Today's class is concluded. Okay. Be prepared. And so far we discussed some topics. Try to understand the concept and try to think by your own way by using that particular pictures and diagrams.